but let's just go and smash it. So it's a little bit of an easier week in terms of the grass cutting. So team meeting was pretty positive this morning. Took a little bit of time to prepare for it more last night. Again, just helped get a bit more engagement from the team.
Aye, it's a nice sunny day, thankfully. Just waiting on Router getting ready and he's going up this.
I mean, if there's anything specifically you want to see, please let us know. We're going to try and start doing a bit more one-off videos.
So today we're on the Grand Town Grass Run. Been a better start to the week than last week.
I am not taking that responsibility as a small business owner, and neither should you. I just do want to say, I do appreciate everyone's effort recently. Like, we've been facing pretty wild conditions and growth, and I know it's been long, hard days, so it does go noticed. Yeah, just want to say thank you for that. Quick fire on that positivity. One job recently you've been proud of. Yeah.
I know it wasn't there as much, but
Everyone had a bit of an input with that.
it does look really good now.
I think it was just how the team, including yourself, Ben, pulled together last week when we were up against it for most of the week with the grass.
Callum, anything in particular you've liked doing recently?
I think the Tomo interview was quite a good one.
Guys, I'm not even being funny, but like, to get someone as prestigious in Tormore Distillery to actually come and give you a review is wild.
Elaine's.
Yeah, the nice wee garden, innit? Damn.
Linda's is obviously coming along nicely.
Cool, let's go and have a good week. I always say this, any issues, give me a shout. Any issues that you cannot solve or you cannot find a solution to, give me a shout, right? The reality is, you know, that's what I used to say as a fucking front to, like, you know, protect my anxiety of things going wrong and then me not be there to fix it or hold your hands to do it. We need to try and start delegating that, and I think we usually are quite good at finding solutions. If you're not sure, if you're not 100% sure, ask a colleague first, and if not, come to me. But if you're going to come to me with a problem, I want at least one or two solutions first, and I'll let you know what I think the best one. But let's just go and smash it. So there's a little bit of an easier week in terms of the grass cutting. So, good morning, folks. It's Monday. We're back in the HQ. Can't say yard anymore. Daniel's made an appearance back. Well, he doesn't really have a yard anymore, so maybe I can steal it. I can't. Can't steal the legacy of a legend. The guys are all out on their merry way for the day. Team meeting was pretty positive this morning. Took a little bit of time to prepare for it more last night. Again, just helped get a bit more engagement from the team because it's quite difficult to think of ways to do that on the spot without making it sound boring and mundane, and I hate how it kind of does go on for a little bit, and I don't want to just hear my voice all the time. But it really is important, and I did ask the guys if they did find the importance in doing this, and I think everyone agrees, just to keep everyone on the same page. And just acknowledge a few things. The fact that stuff goes wrong every day. I used to let it bother me a lot, still kind of bothers me a little bit now, but I try and have a bit of a broader perspective on things and just accept the fact that stuff goes wrong, but it's just how you deal with it. It's just how you overcome the problems. And typically my message to the guys before they left was, if there's any issues, give us a shout. But that's the wrong thing to say. If there's any issues that you think you cannot resolve or find a solution to, then give me a shout or give someone else a shout, because it can't just come back on the owner all the time to fix problems. We've got to try and think of finding solutions to things, because at the end of the day, if I wasn't here for whatever reason, if I was on holiday or, you know, God forbid something happened, the business would have to operate in a way that didn't require me to be there. I know I harp on about systems and processes and stuff like that, but it really is important, and it really is the answer to having a business that is sustainable, can sustain itself, runs smoothly, runs like a well-oiled machine, and has everyone sort of working towards the same goal, and just having a better perspective and outlook on things. Shit happens, it could always be worse. I genuinely mean that, and I genuinely try and hold myself accountable when I ever moan about things that are just stupid, and we all do, but the reality is it could always be worse. And if we spend our time and energy moaning about things that either one, we cannot control, or two, really trivial little things, and you let them ruin your day, then you don't have control over your own sort of emotions. So as a leader and as an employer, I'm trying to work on that myself so it sets the example for the rest of the team. I think just being accountable as well. Building an environment where people feel that they can be accountable without being penalised or, you know, degraded, because a lot of employers would, and a lot of staff are too scared to come and approach their employer about things that they've messed up on because they're going to get shouted at and screamed at. Some people genuinely just aren't really good at dealing with people. I think naturally I'm quite an empathetic person, so I'm not so bad with dealing with people, and I understand things and I want to understand where they're coming from and why they've done what they've done or why they think the way they think. I just think it's quite good to touch on that, especially straight after a team meeting. Maybe we'll make it a reoccurring thing, because I know a lot of you guys, I get asked all the time about managing staff, and like, you know, I've just taken on my first employee, find it really difficult, you know, I'm out of my comfort zone, trying to gain respect from older people. You know, my first member of staff was older than me, my second member of the staff was older than me, but I think I gained the respect out of respecting them, but then also what I'd built and what I was sort of running, and also the ability to not be a pushover and not be too afraid to call things out for what they are or hold someone accountable for not doing a good job. Hang on, actually, that's not good enough, rather than being like, oh, listen, you know, beating around the bush and being a bit sheepish about something. That is not to the standard that we work to. Show them how to do that, and then when they do a good job, tell them they've done a good job. It's really easy, and for me, to come out and point out the negatives on a job. If I turn up to a project, I'll start pointing out the things that I can see that are slightly wrong, and it's really easy to not then say something positive. So again, something that I'm trying to work on as a leader, as an employer, is to try and encourage the team a bit more, say well done when it is due, and not just think about the negatives, because it is very easy to be negative, and because I'm a bit of a perfectionist, I want things to be right. So almost sometimes no noise or no news is good news. If I don't say anything, the job has been done well. But I think people need to hear that. People need to hear encouragement. That job looks really good. You've done a really good job of that. Yeah, and just make people feel like they're doing something good, because that praise is really important. Grass cutting last week was really difficult. That's the only way I can really describe it. Significant growth, fortnightly cuts. You're cutting grass that's this long with machines that are designed to mulch. The weekly cuts have started now because we're in the sort of peak of the growing season. Never know what the peak growing season is now, because the seasons don't know what they want to do. But it was getting the team down a little bit. They were struggling to keep on top of things. They weren't hitting their targets. Their roots weren't getting finished in a day, and a job that would take an hour is then taking 2 hours. All these little things. I never put that external pressure on them to say, look guys, you need to work harder, you need to work faster. I accepted it for what it is. The grass is really long. It's something that we cannot control. We just need to try and do our best to control it. I don't think it's going to grow like this forever. It's got to sort of come to a halt at some point. Maybe if we get like a significant amount of heat, that stunts the growth a little bit, and less rain. It has just been raining, and last week it was really wet, so they're cutting really wet, long grass, trying to do a good job of it. Often cutting it multiple times. Sometimes the mowers aren't, you know, cutting it very well. Yeah, it's been a bit of a slog. So just trying to, we ended the week strong last week. Self and Damien went out and did some grass cutting on the Friday just to catch up, because the guys didn't see a way out, and I think Ed mentioned it in there. You know, one of the positives to take away from last week is how we all chipped in as a team to go and get it done. It doesn't necessarily just mean you're the grass cutting crew, it's your problem, fix it. We came off a project to go and help get on top of the schedule. This week is a little bit of a quieter week. We didn't really get the balance that well for the weeks of the grass cutting. Next week and last week is a really full-on hard going week, so if you start falling behind, it is a little bit difficult to catch up. And then when you're in that schedule and you're in that routine, it's very difficult to then swap the routes around. And you know, Mrs. Jones, we're going to be there in a week's time instead of 2 weeks' time, and then you have to adjust things. But the reality is, sometimes that's the way it's going to go. So yeah, got a lot to think about. The grass cutting has been a little bit difficult lately. We will get on top of it, but it's just one of those things. The logistics involved in that is wild. Thinking about route, you're thinking about route efficiency, short driving time, pricing, is the pricing right? Have we charged enough, etc.? Are we hitting our targets? Not burning out the team, not finishing late all the time. There's so many little things involved. But grass cutting's what I started out with. I know there's money to be made in it, but it's just funny as you start to grow and you start involving more teams and less of yourself, things adapt and things change, and you've got to think about things in a different way. So yeah, just sharing the ins and outs with you guys, just being transparent, because I know you guys take good value from that. There's a lot of people who are starting businesses or in the middle of running businesses, and you do take a bit of refuge coming to these videos and seeing how I deal with these things. And I think if I was starting out, there was the odd video that helped with things like that, but there was never really a business that was doing a regular vlog that was really transparent and open about the problems that you face running a business. And again, I've mentioned it before, it does make you vulnerable. It does put you on a bit of a pedestal and a bit of a chopping block to get criticism from people. But that's something I'm learning to accept, that you're not going to please everyone. Not everyone is going to understand the way or why you do things. But sometimes I do question if the videos are worth it. So not looking for, you know, a pat on the back or like, well done, keep it up, but just a bit more engagement and a bit more of knowing that the videos do make an impact. I know it's not always people's thing to comment on videos and show off or support, but a lot of time, effort and money goes into making these vlogs weekly. So the more engagement I get, the more inclined I'm going to be able to do it, because it has been a question of mine sometimes when you are putting that sensitive information out there. Asheville nailed it in his recent video. You're putting yourself out there for criticism. You're putting yourself out there in a vulnerable way that you can then get stick, basically. It comes with its pros, it comes with its cons, but I really do hope you enjoy the videos. I hope it makes a difference. I hope it is worthwhile our time and effort doing them. And if there's anything specifically you want to see, please let us know. We're going to try and start doing a bit more one-off videos, standalone videos, and yeah, just try and make this whole YouTube social media malarkey worthwhile. Anyway, it's Monday, I've got a lot to crack on with. Let's go and see what the team get up to. Let's have a positive and good week, and I hope the same is the same for you guys.
Morning everybody, McCall here from Morrison Tree Landscape, and today we are out in Grantown. We are doing a bit of deadwood on a cherry, and we have just finished up a slight reduction on our yew tree. It's getting a bit too big for the area it's in, so little reduction, bring it back in a bit. And it's a nice sunny day, thankfully, and just waiting on Router getting ready, and he's going up there.
Today we're on the Grantown grass run. Been a better start to the week than last week. We had so much rain last week that the grass was just a nightmare, but we pulled through by the end of the week, getting all of it done. So yeah, we're on the Grantown run, all going well. No rain, and the grass is at a manageable height this week. So now that we're like on top of it, because beforehand we probably should have started our weekly cuts a week early. Therefore the grass was just a bit long and wet last week, but just made for a hard week. But yeah, good start to the week, and the grass is looking greener than ever. A lot greener than this time last year. So yeah.
Where's your hag? Where's your prick?
How's it going, Alex?
Pretty good.
Yeah, how's the grass cutting?
Tiring. Pretty good though. Quite enjoy it.
Is that free?
Is that free? Shut the fuck up.
One log, so you go.
Bags.
Well, hello folks, how are we doing? It is Wednesday afternoon. It's currently 1:30 and I am on my way back from the quarry with a load of 20mm crushed grey gravel for this job in Grantown. So kind of back out in the tools today, cracking on with the job at Linda's, trying to get it pushed on and hopefully finished this week, or I say this phase finished this week. Damien and Mac are out there just now. The rest of the team are grass cutting, so we've got Dav and Alex, and Ed and Rooter are cutting grass just now. Joe is off today and Mo is still on holiday. He will be back on Thursday. We will be back to full strength on Thursday for a day, and then Joe's off on Friday again. So it's difficult trying to like juggle everything and try and keep the diary busy, and if you think you're obviously going to have enough for everyone to do, and then someone calls in sick or books a holiday, and yeah, it's just managing people and being able to be flexible with your diary and have that sort of adaptability. But then it's also communicating with customers and, you know, making them aware that you're not just letting them down. Like, you physically cannot control the output sometimes. You know, you can't control who's going to be off and what sort of team you have. So it's just forward communication. And 9 times out of 10, I've always said it to the guys, just communicate, be upfront and honest with people, and 9 times out of 10 it's well received and it's understood. The moment you start hiding things and making excuses and, you know, limiting your communication with people, it's just one of those things. It is really quite important to do so. Anywho, I nipped into the quarry with the guys. I went to another quarry. The guys went to the closest quarry, and they've been hand picking stones from the quarry for the edging stones to go around the sort of perimeter of the garden bed. There'll be sort of chips, chuckies, shingle, whatever you want to call it, up to the stones, and then those bigger stones will sort of create that separation. Trying to just keep it natural. Again, using simple products. We're not going to be concreting the stones in. The stones are going to be sat in place. They're going to be locked in place by the gravel and by the soil and sort of interlocked together. They're heavy enough to stay where they are. They're not going to get knocked out of place. It's just a simple solution and something that we can do regularly. We've done it a few times now, something we can probably try and regularly keep a stock of. It's natural, it can be made to look good, it's easy to put into curves, into different shapes. Yeah, it's just one of those things. It's just, we're trying to find ways and solutions and products that we can use frequently, that the guys are familiar with, even though it's custom, because all the stones are different sizes and you've got to sort of put them in place. Trying to come away from that sort of complex side of landscaping and building, it just drives me nuts. There's just so much involved in it, so much politics involved. We're doing a planting job for a local building firm who is building this pod, and it's quite difficult to deal, like the whole riffraff behind, plans changing. We're on like the 8th design drawing of the planting scheme and stuff, and mixed communication, and you're dealing with one person, and it's just been a bit of a nightmare, to be honest. It's not contractor's fault, it's more so there's so many fingers in one pie, there's so many meetings to change things, and we're not really getting any communication. We are now. I picked up the phone and I had a phone call today, because I've been leaving sort of Katrina to deal with this, but I had a phone call today and I just picked up the phone and I just wanted clarity. I just said, look, we're not getting anywhere with this. I've left Katrina to this. She's pulling her hair out with it a little bit. Can we please get clarity? We haven't ordered any plants. We take a deposit up front to order materials. It is not our responsibility to cash flow a job for £1 million build. I am not taking that responsibility as a small business owner, and neither should you. And I've talked about this before, and there is a bit of a stigma out there. Oh, you shouldn't be, if you do your business properly, you shouldn't need to take any money up front. Why wouldn't you? If you're a reputable business, you know fine what you are doing, you believe in the product that you are delivering, you have every confidence that you will deliver that product, then 100% you should be taking funds up front, so that you're not taking cash flow hits, that you're securing materials, you're taking the risk getting materials, getting that job started, paying for your team to be there. You need to make progress payments throughout the job before you go and do it. Because what if something happens to that client and they can't pay? What if they decide to be awkward and not pay? You can weed these people out from the very get-go just by simply saying, we require a deposit on the booking of the job. On the first day we will take another 25%, and then ultimately on the day we start we've gathered 50% of that job cost, so that we are covered. We know that we have covered the materials at least, and we know that the client is committing to pay. Oh no, I don't want to pay until the job's done. Sorry, we are not the company for you. And that is simply the way it's got to be, in my opinion. Even jobs that don't require materials, we take a booking fee, because at the end of the day, you're spending time and you're committing time in the diary for your team to go out there and do a job. If a client messes you about, that costs money, and you have a responsibility as a business owner to make sure that you are making enough money essentially to look after the business and look after your team and pay them a wage. Like, it's got to be sustainable, and again, it's just not, I just don't think it's my responsibility to offer a service, a completely optional service, and cash flow a job for a client. And to be honest with you, we've not had any kickback on it. We had one job that we had kickback on it, a hedge that we used to do, that I wanted to go and book in, and it says we now require a deposit. We've done it twice now, and she ended up going out with someone else because the deposit put her off, because in previous years we hadn't done the deposit. She thought maybe we think that she wasn't going to pay, she just thought it was a bit cheeky or whatever, and I says, listen, this is absolutely not the case. Months ago, because we obviously do the hedge annually, it was way before, I says we've been taking deposit bookings for the job just to secure the job into the diary. It's absolutely nothing to do with you or payment. But she kind of understood. She didn't ask me at the time. I think it was her son who had a little bit of input and said, yeah, I wouldn't be using them again. And since then she says, oh, I'm going to go with this other company, but I know you always do a good job, and she's always been delighted. She had a previous contractor in to do the job, and this is like, an hour away from us, so it's not local at all. She had a previous company come in, didn't do a good job. We went and did the job. She was absolutely delighted and did it for 2 years in a row, and then simply asked for a deposit, and then that was the end of the job. But don't let that put you off. Sometimes these clients aren't just for you, and she may come back. You never know. I'm not sure how the job got on. But anyway, just one of those things. From a cash flow perspective, it is not your responsibility to bankroll a job. Even if you have 100 grand in the bank, it is not your responsibility. Because if something happens to that client or something goes wrong or whatever and they hold money against you, you have to take them to small claims courts or whatever, all this malarkey, that can all be mitigated straight away by having a simple professional, standard, rather than saying in a text message, oh, by the way, we take 25% up front and then 25% on the first start of the job. Put it out in a professional quote with staged payments. It's clear, it's there, it's on paper. People feel relaxed because they're dealing with a proper business that's well reputable, all the 5-star reviews on Google, a website, a social media presence, a face to the business. All these little things are so important when you're trying to grow a business. So if you are, take that on board. Take it how you wish. I'm not telling anyone to go and take deposits. I'm just simply saying that's not what we do. We don't just bankroll the job for the client. Anyway, that sky looks very grey. I'm gonna get back to the job and see what the guys are up to.
Probably just put one under
What do you want for a minute? What are we buying?
Merry Christmas.
225.
You filthy animal.
Probably if we just put one under the seat of each beaver tail. No need to pay that, solves that problem.
It's the first job today, just doing a bit of a hedge reduction. Just taking it down to 8 foot and tidying it up. Got the sides in, your front trimmed up, tops have taken off. It's looking pretty good.
Aye. Let's go. Early finishes, all round.
Happy birthday, Ben. It was a shame not to see you today on your birthday. You're off gallivanting, but rightly so.
Happy birthday, Ben. It's a shame I couldn't see you. Like,
I hope you had a birthday, Ben. I really do.
Oh, that's not very nice.
Happy birthday, Ben. Rock on.
Happy birthday, Ben.
Happy 30th, Ben. Have a good day.
Halfway to 60.